Thank you, Mike. Kelly, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I am Kelly Mazer. I am the Executive Director for the ISA Rocky Mountain chapter.
Thank you, Kelly. And Shelby, we've been talking all about you, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Shelby Merriman. I am kind of heading more of the apprenticeship stuff at Arborist, and I'm here a little bit to give some of the students' perspective since I am a student.
Thanks, Shelby. Lynn, and your lovely guest.
Yes. So Lynn Boswell, I'm with Front Range Community College, and we do the related learning portion of the apprenticeship. And I have with me today Connie Krupp, who joined us from Wisconsin a few other times, but she's in town this week working on curriculum, and we've been meeting with Arborists. So Connie, you want to introduce yourself?
Thanks. Hello, everyone. I've joined you via Zoom before. Connie Krupp. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm an instructional designer. I wrote the initial training for Front Range Community College, and now I'm working with TCIA and all of you and with our subject matter experts. I've met with quite a few this week, and it's fun to do some things in person too. So I'm excited to be out here.
That's exciting. Thank you for being here, Connie. Yeah. And I thought you looked familiar, but I thought that couldn't be you because you're not supposed to be in Colorado, but you are.
Right. Exactly.
Thank you for doing what you do. Madeline.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you again. Madeline, I'm the Workforce Development Manager with the Park People. Currently in the middle of our pilot pre-apprenticeship program. So excited to be here. Thanks.
Thank you, Madeline. And I owe you an email. I haven't forgotten about you. Emily, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Emily Berger with Denver Workforce Services. I'm an employer services liaison focused on production, agriculture, construction, and energy. Happy to be here.
Thanks, Emily. And David?
I'm David Merriman with Arborscape. I own Arborscape, and we're part of the program with you guys.
Thanks, David. And I am sorry, I have a first initial and a last name, J.
Dr. Klett.
And I'm sorry if I should know you. But go ahead and introduce yourself.
Legendary Dr. Klett, your microphone is muted.
Yeah. I'm Jim Klett from Colorado State University, Department of Horticulture and Landscape Architecture. Just listening in. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And Adrian. Adrian may be just listening. Oh,
hey.
Here you are.
Sorry, my connection is not great, so I'm not going to turn on my video. I am Adrian Camacho. I am a forestry superintendent in Aurora. And yeah, we've got apprenticeship here.
Thank you, Adrian. So I was going to say more, but I will move on. Nikki, I guess, did I allow you to introduce yourself really?
Oh, no, but hopefully everyone knows me by now. Nikki Lucas with the Place Setting Company. We're the convener for the Tree Care Sector Partnership. So good to see everyone.
Thank you, Nikki. And during all these introductions, I should have pulled up the agenda, but guess what I did not do. So thank you for sharing it. So it looks like right up front, we are going to have an update from Lynn, and probably Connie will chime in as well.
There, I was just looking at trying to look real quick on all the things we were supposed to cover. So I think we're good, but keep me in line, Nikki, if I don't cover everything. Oh, good. You're going to bring it up. So program update. I think everybody heard last week that we did get the grant. We are changing our program to half online and half lab. And Connie and I have been meeting with our instructors to make sure that they have enough time in the lab to cover all the competencies they need to cover. And then Kat might have some additional, I don't know, Kat, if you're ready for any additional comments on working with the Department of Labor about the number of hours that is going to be required for related learning. Do you have any update yet? on
Yeah,
that?
Megan, is it okay if I share our strategy we're working on?
Absolutely. Please do.
Okay. So Megan is going to be our awesome leader, and we are going to submit it exactly with Front Range's curriculum first, and that's our goal, to get that approved and be able to just so the number of hours is a little bit less than what our Office of Apprenticeships regional director would prefer to see there, and so we've been providing some pushback. And we're going to restructure how we're listing that in the development process because of the TCIA online learning portion. And we're thinking that that's going to, the whole process we've been going through, bringing Connie in, everything that you guys have done has all been employer driven, which is what apprenticeship needs to be. So we are going to submit it with the approximately 320 hours that exists currently with the Front Range program. If that gets approved, then we're hoping that that's going to be the gold standard going forward for any new programs, and that's our goal. If it doesn't, we have a plan B, and we've been told that we can reduce it by 25%. And so what that means is each program would have the Front Range and the TCIA portions built in. And then you'd have to supply some hours for onboarding, local safety training, and everybody will probably have to build in there's a harassment class that's required through the Department of Labor. It's a 1 hour class that gets built into everybody's anyway. So we're making strides in getting that number lowered. Our first goal is to try and get the program as it is with Front Range approved with that curriculum. And then we have we're going to simplify the process on what you need to add. And that's, of course, where I come in and help you customize your program anyway. So either way, by the time you're ready to register, if you don't have a registered program, and I think most of you do, they're on the call, except for Megan, then we'll have that process simplified. So for new partners coming in, but we're going to have Megan's ready to submit definitely by the end of tomorrow, maybe even by the end of today, just looking for a few little tweaks. So did I cover everything, Lynn? Was there anything that you?
No, that's great. Yeah. And
can I say one?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Can you come back to me after you do the year one thing?
Okay. So we will be sending out a new, I know I sent out a list of classes and dates as a draft as we're working with our instructors. Some of those will change a bit. One of the things that will change is our plant healthcare instructor said it is really tough to teach plant healthcare in the middle of December when there's no leaves on any trees. And so we're going to try and get that done in the end of October so that there's some leaves out there that he can work with and some actual plants in the plant healthcare portion. So that'll probably be our first class, will be late October, and then we'll continue on through March. So I'll be sending out a new schedule. Registration will be mid-September. We'll be setting the date of that pretty quickly. And anything else, Connie, about the
there
curriculum?
will be some added hours after meeting with the instructors. So we'll be adding some lab hours, probably maybe 20 hours or something like that, but we'll give you the updated list. So that should help Kat too with some more hours, because they're feeling like they just didn't have enough time for especially plant healthcare and the tree care specialist. So TCI doesn't have that curriculum finished yet, so we didn't really know what was in there, but they have the competencies. And when the instructors looked over the competencies, they said we need more time in the field. So we'll be adding some hours, but as Lynn said, we'll send that out as soon as we update them.
So yeah, just a reminder that for this year only, because of the grant, the cost is going to be $50 per person registration fee, and the tuition is covered for all first-year students completely by the grant, other than this $50 registration fee. Now, the second year, CAP may have some funding for those students who are in their second and third year. And so, Kat, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, do you want to answer Nikki's question real quick first?
Yeah, Mickey, up to 12 people. Yes. I think actually, wasn't it 15? I think it's 15 is the top, Nikki. Yeah.
Good job, everybody. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so any new program that's developed will have a little bit more flexibility, but if you're utilizing Lynn's grant, it's completely separate from any of our apprenticeship grants. That's a very hard grant to achieve. So congratulations, Lynn. I wasn't on the call when you announced it last time, but from my other partners, I know that that's a very high maintenance and a very hard grant to achieve. So I want to say congratulations and thank you. But it's very separate from any of the workforce funding. The key is, if you are interested in workforce funding, we will need to enroll your apprentices with workforce before they're in Rapids and/or before they start Lynn's program. So Lynn and Nikki and I will be working closely on that list. And so I'll work with you as a employer partner. But just to know, they're going to register. They're not necessarily, they might, if they need some supportive services, gas vouchers, things like that, that might be something we can help with. But we can also help with tuition for year 2. But they have to be enrolled a year in advance in this case, because they're receiving that first year subsidy from Lynn. So I did want to put that in just wanted to place that nugget in there. So that way, when I reached out to explain this, and it'll be a lot easier when we go case by case for each individual, we'll work on your apprentices and what that looks like for you. But there is a way, and especially if the tuition stays at the 2,500, currently the IDEA grant, which is what will be available next year, is 3,200. So there is a possibility that for this particular cohort, you may be able to have some extra funds there.
Thanks, Kat. We'll chat offline about that for us. Thank you.
So I just wanted to chime in on Joe's question. I think the hardest part about this is probably the order of operations. The registration for those 15 spots would be registering at Front Range for the classes, but there are other things that need to happen before that. They would need to be have a host employer who has agreed to host them as an apprentice. Front Range won't be doing folks who aren't tied to an official apprenticeship program. And so then maybe we can just do quick order of operations of find employer, connect with workforce for funding, and then register at Front Range to claim one of the spots, which would be being released in September. And then deadline, do you have a deadline, Lynn? Mid-October, end of October for registration for class?
I haven't said it yet, but yeah, it's going to be, we need it about 2 weeks before classes start. So yeah, it'll probably be October 1st. I'm thinking we're going to open registration around September 15th and close it at around October 1st. So
okay,
we'll get the word out there.
So also on the agenda, which I'm not sharing right now, September 20th. I don't want to move too far forward. I just want to be clear about kind of like the steps that are happening between now and classes start. We are going to hold at Front Range Westminster campus a career and apprenticeship information session. And our hope is to inform in a career exploration way for people who might be interested in the career, but also try to educate and invite other tree care companies who might want to take advantage of this awesome grant, and maybe they want to have an apprentice, but haven't been able to afford it. This is the best way to get started. So our hope is September 20th, that info session, we might be able to align some people who are looking to get in the apprenticeship program, people who would be new to it, ready to start a new program, and connect there. So I know there's a lot that's going to happen, and there are, kind of an order of operations, but don't ever hesitate to ask questions or for clarification like that, because we want to, that's what we're here for, to try to make it easy.
Yeah.
Hey, Nikki.
Yeah.
Sorry, my hand raise function isn't working on my my Zoom app. Sorry about that. It's not you, it's in other meetings been happening too. I just was wondering, since Joseph asked the question, since obviously we do have some people that serve job seekers on here. Do any employers have openings now that they are looking for job seekers for, that individuals could connect with? And do we want to give employers that chance to share? Clearly Mike's raising his hand.
I also have 1 or 2 spots available right now.
And we already are going to have 2 people in, so it might be difficult to add a third, but we are looking for another full-time ground person. Typically we want somebody on board with us for, I think our apprenticeship paperwork is at least a month, just to make sure somebody's going to work out. So it would have to happen very quickly. I can't guarantee we'd be able to get somebody the apprenticeship their first year if they came on with us right now.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. I'm in Megan's boat, where I have 3 to 4 apprentices already enrolled with mentors. And then when they graduate, I'll have the 7 or 8 people that are ready for mentorship in the next round.
So I think that speaks to, Nikki, us getting a really good feel for how we set up the information session soon enough that you all can, in the hiring time, so you can get people hired, get them onboarded, get everything going before the apprenticeship classes start. So we decided to go ahead and hold this one in the fall, but I think having one in the spring is good too, is what I'm hearing. Is that when you normally hire more people?
I would say holding one even in January, February. When we're looking at the upcoming season and starting to ramp up and say, okay, what are our projections? What's our growth? Where do we want to be? Can we bring somebody on and have them, with us through the summer, and then start an apprentice program at the end of that, is where I think for us personally, having someone who's a little bit more entrenched with us, we're going to feel better about putting them through the program, is probably what makes most sense for me as an employer. And then I just saw Kat's question. We are hiring in general right now. We'd like one more person to go through winter. I feel like there's something else I was going to say, but I forgot. So I'm sure someone else has input.
And Emily, do you have a question?
Yeah, thanks. I know Nikki and Megan, we talked about this a little bit, but just curious of who is going to be, we're having an apprenticeship fair next week on Wednesday. Only apprenticeship programs and resources are going to be attending this. And I know it's over in Westwood in Denver, and I know there's actually a lot of excitement about the tree care apprenticeship program in this neighborhood specifically. So just curious if there is someone who's attending. I know there's a lot of excitement around it.
Yep, Kelly from Save a Tree is going to send someone or multiple people from his team to represent. And so they will represent Save a Tree, that apprenticeship program, but also kind of the tree care sector partnership side of things and connecting with our program. And then Arborist career in general. And he does have bilingual representation to be able to attend to.
Awesome. Thank you.
So Nikki, that was on my calendar to attend as well, to bring information about the apprenticeship. So can you connect me with whoever is going from Save a Tree so we can find each other at the fair?
Yes, I can. It was Kelly, I think, who texted me and said he wasn't able to attend the meeting last minute. I'll send you the details via email that I received about that. He did think that he could have it covered. So if you don't want to go, you don't have to go. But you're welcome to go, and I'll send you the information. It's up to you.
I'm happy to go, and
I'll send it to you.
let's talk about what flyer information we can bring. Like, I can print off flyers for the information session, and then also flyers from for our just the apprenticeship registration information.
Yeah.
That
And
sounds
if you
awesome.
do have those in Spanish too, it would be awesome to bring those as well.
Okay.
Just a note on that. Has anyone reached out to Denver Forestry about this?
The apprenticeship fair? Or the
Yeah,
September 20th info?
The Westwood Apprenticeship Fair, because they do have a training program. It's not an apprenticeship for various bureaucratic reasons. But if you want, I can tap them and let them know about it.
You're welcome to let them know about it. We have closed registration at this point. We have all of our tables are full, but there is a wait list. If they want to apply for the wait list, they're welcome to.
Well, can't they be at the same table that Kelly and Lynn are going to be at?
Oh yeah, that would be fine. With me.
Wouldn't that be Kelly's call? I just wanted to confirm, how is the table assigned?
It's just I've been to these before. It's a white table with some chairs behind it, and whoever shows up to talk is whoever shows up to talk. I don't think I can talk to Kelly, but I don't think he'll care.
And
Go ahead.
I was going to say, we have a banner, don't we, Nikki? A tree care sector.
yeah.
There it is.
That's what I was gonna say is I have it, Lynn. I mean, we're pretty close to Front Range. So I can drop that off. Where are you in that? Well,
No.
wait, you're not at you contract.
Yeah, it might be easier for me to just pick it up from you. Would
Okay.
that be easier if you just leave it in your office? Are you guys, I can maybe stop by on my way there on Wednesday.
Okay, and what I'll do is we'll coordinate offline, but I'll probably put it on our front porch. Our office is on the same property as our house.
Okay.
And I will unfortunately not be able to come because I will be chaperoning my daughter's outdoor education trip. So
Yay. Yay. Can we talk, I have a bit more about the information session. Are we ready to move to that? We would like to have a panel of employers and apprentices speak to the folks who attend. And so I was going to ask Kelly or Adrian or any of the employers who would be interested, who have hosted an apprentice before in the past. Adrian, would you be able to be there? It's September 20. We're running it. Nikki, I don't know if you have the flyer you could put up. But it's at Front Range. And Adrian, what I would love is if you could bring Ashley with you. Ashley is yours, right? She comes from City of Aurora.
Yeah, what's the day? Ashley works Monday through Thursday.
Okay, it's a
Tuesday.
September 23, 30 to 5.
Yeah, just send me an email and I'll get somebody. It'll be Ashley and someone else. Me
Okay.
or Brendan, probably.
Okay, that'd be great. Nothing better than to have a woman one of our women apprentices, I think, speak to what she learned in the program. And then I'll talk to Kelly too about, or David, maybe you could be there, because you've hosted an apprentice before in the past.
Yeah, as of right now, I'm have like 40 different hats on right now. Shelby went back to college. We let go our whole office staff, and we're hiring all new office staff Monday. And I've had a couple, I've had like 4 or 5 people quit within the last month.
Oh man.
So, plus we let a couple people go. So I am now wearing too many hats where it's going to be hard for me to do anything other than attend the meetings and do a couple things with Shelby, who is running most of this for me for a little bit until I can get caught back up. So I won't be able to do it right now.
Okay. Well, I'll talk with Kelly and see if he can come and bring one of his apprentices. And
Would Josh be, I can't remember if Josh has someone going through apprenticeship right now. I think he does.
He does. And I think Nikki is working on him as well. I think she invited him, but we're not positive if he's going to be able to be there. And I know, Megan, you were going to be there to kind of welcome everybody on behalf of the sector partnership.
Sure, I'm happy to do that. I'm learning as many will be. One of the things I would ask of everyone on the call, Nikki, if you can disseminate the list I sent you, I created a list of tree care companies in the surrounding area around Front Range. Like, we can go broader, right? But I spent about 30 minutes, going through and finding tree care companies that have, good Google ratings, right?
Nice.
To perhaps, each person can take a look and, volunteer, especially if they know one of those companies, to contact them and share a little bit about the apprenticeship with them and encourage them to attend and see. I know I've spoken with one of our local colleagues, and he said he just doesn't have anybody who would fit the program right now. But I think if we can all just call some of the companies that we know, and just reach out that way, phone tree style. I think we could, the biggest thing I want to do is make sure that, if we've got 15 spots, those 15 spots are taken. I mean, that's a lot of work to put that grant together. This is an excellent opportunity, and we don't want that to slip by because of lack of knowledge.
Right.
So we've had a conversation that, we need the journey workers to oversee the apprentices, and in order for that to happen, we need to get more people through the apprenticeship and get this off the ground. So more off the ground. So if people know of a company that they'd like to call, feel free to share it in the chat. Otherwise, please send the information to Nikki if you're contacting someone. It's fine for multiple people to contact a company. There's nothing wrong with that. But that would, I think, that be helpful for peers in the industry to be reaching out.
Agreed. Yeah. And if I could ask Emily and Kat to help me get the word out to the other workforce centers too, because I know they have folks who have been interested, and I know anybody from the workforce can come as well, because I get several questions from workforce folks about the apprenticeship. So yeah, it's open to anybody who's interested. And just a reminder that we did put extra dollars into the grant to help promote the apprenticeship. And so Megan, I will be contacting you, I think, to sort of brainstorm, because those dollars could go a lot of ways to help us get the word out. And employers way better than we do on how to reach them. So I'll contact you. But if anybody has any great ideas on how to spend those dollars to help promote, be happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I think we can certainly talk offline. I'm just looking at the time. We can talk about that a little more, and we can circle back around to that if we have time today. But I think it's a worthwhile conversation to have if we have time online here. But otherwise, we can certainly talk offline a little bit about that. You can feel free to just, there's always a scheduling link in my signature line and my emails. And you can schedule a time with me. Madeline knows that's the best way to get hold of me, isn't it? So that being said, do we any further discussion on the apprenticeship and the information session, so we can allow time for other discussion before we might circle back around?
I had a thought, like, could we come up with like a draft email or like a flyer specifically for like tree care companies who might benefit from knowing about the apprenticeship funding? And then that way it would just be really easy to have that like uniform information, like maybe just some bullet points, like this is how much it costs, this is how to apply, and like the deadline for that. So that'd be easier for us to just like, I could just kind of send it off to my list of, tree care companies in the area that aren't involved with the sector partnership. Is that possible, or?
Can you clarify apprenticeship funding? I just want to yes, something's possible is the answer. I just want to clarify what.
Just like what we were just talking about getting the word out, like whatever information that needs to be like provided, like just to consolidate that into like one uniform message about like the fact that it's like $50 to enroll for this first year, like and how to get involved from that.
I can do that. Yep, I'd be happy to.
Okay.
I just want to be careful on the workforce, because workforce controls, and I'm not a workforce direct employee, so I just want to be careful on the individual, like that's Lynn's money. So I just want to make sure that if there's anything referencing workforce, that we have somebody from workforce reviewing it. That's all I asked.
Okay. Yeah, I meant the Lynn funding. Sorry.
That's why I was like, there's a lot of pieces here. Thank you.
Let's just do maybe for this one, just the, did you know you can, enroll your very first apprentice for $50 this year for tuition for 1 year.
And I think even if you could do a value comparison, I know Brian with the TCIA could provide you information on how much it would cost just simply for the TCIA courses that they're going to get for that first year. I think that would go, okay. I mean, that's what ultimately reeled me in finally to get ourselves going. So
and from here on out, we're looking at a $2,500 tuition fee. So and that will in the future cover all the TCIA too. So it's a real value for people at this point.
So I think if Lynn, if it's possible to work with Nikki and we can all three have a phone call if we need to, but to get something out in the next, where are we, within the next week, that we have, that anyone can send out and give in combination with the flyer for the actual information session. So those two things together will provide wonderful talking points and a great way to blast out to an email as well.
Yeah, great.
All right, any further discussion there, or shall we hear from Madeline? Let's hear from Madeline so we make sure we have enough time.
Let's see. I'll just say, what week is this? I believe this is almost the end of week 4 of the pre-apprenticeship program. It's been interesting. Obviously, it's a pilot, so we have a lot to learn, a lot of takeaways and hiccups that have come up that we weren't expecting, things like that. But overall, it's been a really valuable experience, I think, for participants and for us, just moving forward with future similar programs. If anyone I know, David, you mentioned that you are potentially hiring. If you'd be interested in connecting about providing more information to the pre-apprentices about any job opportunities, like entry-level stuff.
Yeah, either reach out to Shelby or Michelle.
Sure.
And we can move on from there.
Okay.
Because I've been kind of holding off on not hiring somebody because I have two people that are, one's moving to Arizona at the end of this month and the other one's moving to Florida at the end of September. So I've been holding off hiring people because I know you were doing this little program. So I have those two spots there that I can fill as soon as your program's done. But you need to reach out to Shelby or Michelle. And the best way for Shelby's email, because right now she's at Mines in the library in between classes. So.
Okay, thanks. Could you share her email in the chat?
She can.
She's on I'm so sorry. Hi. Sorry, I was not connecting the dots there. Cool. Hi, Shelby. Thanks. I think other than that, it's pretty much it. Does anyone have any questions about pre-apprenticeship stuff? I am thinking through like what I want to kind of talk about during that event on the 20th. Like if I want to highlight like how this program has gone or like general curriculum and kind of the purpose of it, or if it should be catered towards people interested in signing up or working with us. So I'm kind of thinking through that, but let's see. So Kat, our pre-apprentices are graduating the program with first aid CPR, OSHA 10, and then the intro to arboriculture safety TCIA certification. So those three are kind of the biggies, and I can email those to you if you want it in writing. Yeah.
If you want to just, when you're done speaking, if you can just throw that into the chat as well.
Sure.
Wonderful. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be helpful just for some feedback for you on what to say at this. I think there will be employers there. I think there will be people potentially interested in an apprenticeship there, but who may not be ready to take the full plunge. You know, so I think touching on both areas. And certainly if you need anyone to speak to the program from an employer perspective, I'm happy to do so. We can touch base on that. I know personally, I mean, the drill that we did with the pre-apprentices actually was something that it was sort of an epiphany moment of, wow, we could do this type of drill in-house to improve our communications between ground and aloft. So yeah, happy to do that if you'd like.
Okay, thanks, Megan. I'll connect with you about that at some point. Thanks for offering though.
Yeah, just set up a meeting with me, you know, we'll talk about all the things you need to talk about.
Okay, sure. Cool. I think that's it from me. So
hey, Madeline, I just had a quick question. How many people do you have in the program now? I think you might have said before, but I don't remember.
We started with 10. We're currently sitting around 6 due to just some life circumstances and things that have come up that have made it like not a good fit for some folks. So we'll kind of see who ends up graduating. And like I said, it's been a huge learning moment, lots of takeaways and things. So yeah.
We appreciate you doing this because ultimately for the employers who are looking at these folks, you've done 8 weeks worth of vetting really for us as employers. So I think that's a point to speak to as well for employers is, we can't necessarily speak to the longevity of these folks, but these folks have made it through 8 weeks of showing up every day, doing what needs to be done and learning. So that's huge for that population. So
totally. Thanks, Megan. Yeah, that was our goal. So glad you feel that way.
Yeah. Any other questions for Madeline? Okay, we'll let you put that certifications in the chat. Is Kelly? Yes, Kelly is back with us. Did you have anything you wanted to share about the conference in October, Kelly?
Sure. I have another program that we just launched as well. It's going to be a ISA certified arborist exam study group that's going through September and October. There will be 4 sessions, 2 hours each. It's all virtual over Zoom, and they'll cover about 4 or 5 chapters per session. So if you know anybody that's interested and is looking to sit for the exam, it's $40 for all 4 sessions, and it is on our website right now.
That's amazing. I thought it was $40 per session. So I'm sure we'll be enrolling at least one of our employees. He struggled with his first go just from a test taking perspective. So I bet he would really appreciate that.
Kelly, is there a way for us to, I mean, it seems like this would be a natural fit for, as the apprentices finish up, for them to get certified? Is there a way for us to promote that to our apprentices, or to, so that if they're interested in getting that certification when they complete their apprenticeship as well?
Yeah, I'm right now, I kind of just have a letter, but I'm working on a little bit more to get out and share on social and stuff. So I'm happy to share that stuff with you guys as soon as it's ready.
Okay.
This is kind of historically, these study or these group study sessions have kind of just happened on their own. And this is one that we're really just pushing from the chapter. So hopefully it becomes a regular thing that we can offer. So yeah, I'll absolutely share that with you guys.
Kelly, are the instructors with ISA, or are they with private tree companies?
So the instructors we have Chad Delzell and Ben Rickenbacker from Denver Parks and Rec. And then we have Dana Coelho, she's with the university. And then we also have Jason, which I think he's private. I'm not 100% sure.
Thank you very much.
Where he comes from. Yeah. So yeah, those are our instructors right now.
I think, Kelly, this is awesome. I was really excited when I saw that come out in the email. It was yesterday, the day before. It's from somebody who comes from a background in medicine, there are all kinds of courses and everything that you can pay to go to pass boards in medicine. And then I was looking, I thought, oh, well, certainly there's plenty out there for people who are looking to pass their ISA exam. And there is not much, really not much. And so thank you for putting this together. I look forward to see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. And then also too, we usually, Lynn, just so you're aware, we usually host a study group over ProGreen as well, which in 2023, I think it's January 31st through February 2nd. Jim can correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So far, the response has been really great, and it's only been out for 24 hours. And then we do have our conference coming up October 20th and 21st. It's in Golden at the Denver Marriott West. We've got our agenda up and posted. So yeah, hopefully you guys can make it. I think we're going to be offering 13 to 14 ISA credits for this one. I think that's it.
Thank you, Kelly. Gosh, this meeting is packed full of information today. So this is great. I appreciate, I know Nikki's taking lots of notes. But I did want to leave the rest of our time open for anyone who wants, open floor for anyone who has any workforce challenges or any other challenges that they'd like to share and receive advice on. I'd love for this fly to get out of my office. But.
Hey, Megan, I was wondering, Nikki and I were talking, I thought it would be really cool at our information session to have a tree climbing demonstration.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I guess maybe the instructor would be the person that I should talk to about that, but yeah, I didn't know if anybody had any thoughts around that.
Yeah, I think if we're getting people there who are, interested in the industry, becoming, getting into this career, I think that would be wonderful. I almost wonder, gosh, I just had this epiphany moment. Could we reach out to area high schools and see if their counselors would be, interested in being able to maybe have it's almost just a little under a month out, perhaps they could get a field trip together. It would be after school, so possibly that would interfere with sports, but there may be enough interest to send high school to even freshmen through seniors. It doesn't have to be just seniors over to this event. I think that could be really valuable information for next year for those kids, and reach out to the tech schools as well.
Is there a place for people to climb in a tree or no at this place?
We have lots of trees, but I would need an expert to look and see, is there a tree that would work? The classes usually go over to the Westminster parks, so they're generally not up in the trees here, but great question, David.
Because if it was just in a parking lot, I'd have to reach out to a city and ask if they would donate a tree, and then we'd remove a tree, because we have the stand for a traveling tree built. It's just, I just need a city to give me a 30 or 40-foot tree so I can remove it in one piece, set it up on our tow truck, and then drive it there, and then we put it up like we did for Jeffco. So that's always an option in the future. But if there's lots of trees, I'd rather not take the time to do all that.
Do you think, Lynn, we could reach out to the instructors and see if any one of them would be willing to just perform that demonstration? I just don't know what liability and all of that, if we have, someone who's not associated with the program, if there could be an issue there. I just don't know where all that would be in terms of liability. So I would think an instructor would be covered if there were any kind of a problem.
Yeah, I'll reach out to the instructors and see if they could put something together.
Because I think if we had interest, particularly from area high schools, I think that we'd be kind of guaranteed enough people who are interested in entering the program compared to people who are interested in employing folks to make that worthwhile putting together.
I think we're on to something, and we need to maybe get a really good date set. It's coming right up this year, but get a really good date set and start to develop a career activity that would include exactly what you're talking about, David, bringing in the tree and bringing in the experts and doing a tree climbing and a rescue and that kind of thing to really, I think we probably have to get on the calendar of those high schools sooner, but whenever it makes sense for you guys to be hiring and for high schools to be bringing folks in, kind of combine it all, and then also promote the apprenticeship.
Oh man, I get so excited thinking about this. Go ahead. Was it Janelle?
Yeah, Lynn, didn't we invite our credit program people to participate in this too? Are they going to do that? Are any of them, but they're not tree climbers, they're more dirt and plants.
Yeah, they're horticulture. So,
okay. But I wonder if there's something, I don't know if they typically do anything, if they have any demo stuff that they could add. It's funny, I was looking at the trees as I came in this morning because there were a lot of birds in them. So there are some big trees that an expert says, surely somebody could shimmy up that thing.
Yeah. Let's you and I get together and we'll talk.
I was gonna say, we'll go practice climbing.
Janelle, not to be a critic, but it's soil. It's soil. It's not dirt.
Not dirt.
Oh, yeah, we've got a professor on here. Come on.
Keep us on the right path, Mike.
That's right.
And I did notice that Joseph is interested in seeing if we can get some of the DPS students to what the one we have coming up in September.
Okay.
I think, let's do what we can for outreach.
Sure.
And shoot, it doesn't have to be just very local. Like, it can be DPS, Weld County, Adams County, and see who comes.
Yeah. The other thing
build it up for next year.
I would love too is for some equipment to be there, right? And some equipment demo, just a bucket truck and a chipper and, some things like that would be awesome to just have in the parking lot too.
Yeah, I can see if we'd be able to do that. Typically, our bucketing, well, the gravel isn't always done for the day by then, but often the bucket is. I just have to see what we have scheduled on that day. I mean, we're very close, so it'd be very easy for us to do. Is I have to ask the boss and make sure he's okay with it. But he's very supportive of these silly, not silly, sorry. Sometimes he thinks I do silly things.
They
not
see,
silly.
yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be super. The more the better, the more interesting, the better, the more passion people see in the career, and just while we're talking about it, and just to put it on people's minds, we will be looking for a chipper truck to use for our class. And I'll put that date out there too.
And a chipper.
Yeah, a chipper truck and a chipper. And I think he needs that. I'll put that date out there.
Okay. Yeah, just definitely pass it along to Nikki and she can blast it out as well.
Okay.
So we have 3 more minutes and I do want to respect everyone's time. Any further discussion or burning comments or questions people didn't get out today? I do notice someone mentioned that Right Tree Service is advertising apprentice jobs, and I don't know that we have anybody with Right Tree Service who actually has an apprentice entered into the program. But I think it would be worth reaching out. Does anyone have any contacts at Right Tree Service?
I did call their Iowa location because it was weird. Like, it's Kat. I was obviously searching for apprentice opportunities. And I got their local recruiter number, but she didn't return my phone call. So I don't know if maybe somebody else that doesn't sound salesy, because maybe I came off as a random salesperson. Sometimes so I do have that information, but I didn't know you had done some research on Google reviews and other things. So I was just curious if there was if anybody knew anything about them, because like I said, I researched them and they're based out of Iowa and they have a recruiter in Colorado, so they do exist, but none of their website says that. So I don't know much about them.
National company, much like an Asplund or something like that, where they do contract services, line services. And I would imagine that they have, just like many large companies, a built-in apprentice program internally. So hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of employees. So I don't know if it's something that's necessarily registered with the Department of Labor or something that's anything more than just an employer-driven training program.
Yeah, that would be my guess. I would love to reach out to smaller companies that need that funding a little more. But hey, it doesn't hurt to reach out to bigger partners who might be able to help us in the long run. So awesome.
I have a contact at Right. If one of the general foremen that runs this area, so just reach out to me if you need that.
Thanks,
Great.
Adrian. Yeah, I'm just interested in supporting apprenticeship, even if it is within the organization. But obviously, if they were interested in coming to this event and being a part of our larger group goals as well.
Yeah, I think, if Adrian, you and Kat want to touch base, I think that would be great. Nikki, anything else? It's 10:30.
I'm sure there is, but right now I can't think of anything. So if there is something else, I'll just make sure it goes out via email.
Awesome.
My
Well,
minutes, hidden nuggets. I'm gonna put hidden nuggets in there and see who can find them.
everyone, please do. I think our biggest time crunch right now is getting people in those spots for the apprenticeship. So, and getting people to the fair. So, you know, if you have contacts, shoot them over to Nikki so we can be a little bit coordinated. But you know, let's keep things going with the apprenticeship, and that way we have more journey workers to foster those apprentices. Okay, great. Well, thank you, everyone. Do read the minutes. There's a lot, and we'll see everybody next month.
Have a great day.
Thank you.